So I did get cut off on the last video, but I was at the end of that point, and it was already getting kind of long, so I wanted to start again with this is the edited image right here that we just finished. And one of the easiest ways, especially if your images have a lot of similarities with light and color and everything else, is you can hit Command C, in the develop module, Command C, and copy the settings, and then Command V. So in this case, these two photos are quite similar, but again, it doesn't copy all of the settings, and if you look here, you can see I can make it to where it does adjust to everything, but some things like the crop, if I was to spot removal anything, those are not going to be the same from every image, so I will use it as a starting point. It's like one of the basic preset options you could do before you even import a photo, which I talked about in the very first video you guys watched. It's kind of that similar idea if you just copy and paste. Here I want to increase the exposure quite a bit to get some of the shadows off of there. It's a little bit orange, but it's not too bad. And so then these are going to be the things that I really adjust through every single photo. Like I could be okay with this photo in its entirety, and then I would just copy the setting again because I've since updated it. Now this is quite a different scene, and you'll see that's not terrible. Now you see how it doesn't copy everything that I had just done, like it doesn't look quite the same, but it's not bad. So I will drop the exposure down because it's quite a bit brighter, increase this, and this white balance here I think you need to be more careful with, or not more careful with, but it makes the adjustments a little bit stronger than if you were to just really spot correct in the HSL panel, or even further down in the calibration if you're really struggling. I would, if you're not familiar with this, I would maybe take your time learning that aspect unless you have something really too green or too orange, or you have a preset that is really off. So you see, I'm just going to go through and I'm going to keep making the adjustments that I would make every time. And that in itself will create consistency. As you can see, they're warm, they're bright, and then I can go back and compare and see what works for me from every photo that I create here. Now these are obviously not what my final edits would be, but this helps me get started with the gallery, with seeing what photos I'm going to keep, what photos I'm going to get rid of, and it's just a really fun place to start and start seeing what photos I have, what I like the best, what works, what I did right, what I can fix more next time. I find greens in a forest like this to be really difficult, or they can be really difficult. In this photo, I think they're all pretty subdued naturally, but then the sunlight creates such an orange cast that the balance I have right now is pretty good, but it has proven more difficult. And here again, in the split toning, this is where, see how it's more green? If it was like that, I like it quite a bit warmer, but on a softer warm, and I feel like the pinks soften the orange of the warmth. So if that's something you're needing to work with, you can also go to this little box here, and if you want a specific cast, you can click in here and it'll take you to that range and you can further adjust. I'm going to leave this photo here, copy it, and then move to the next. This is very similar to the last, so we're just going to, oh, you actually see me in this frame. The joys of a second shooter. So here, just same edits. I don't really love the way this photo looks. I know that I have a better copy, but again, just you can get the right idea. Sometimes if I feel like the skin tone is a little drab looking, this luminance tool can help their skin pop a little bit here. It goes a long way. You don't want to make them look a little too fleshed out, but it helps just a tiny bit. So I hope that you guys found this a little bit helpful, and you will start practicing a little more with editing, working on consistency, and of course if you have any questions or need any help, don't hesitate to contact me.